Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may, I'd like to speak to the entire package of bills.
Yes, please do. Thank you, Representative.
Thank you. We are here today debating a package of bills to fix our state's crumbling roads and bridges. I'm sure that I'm far from being alone in saying that our constituents, when they call our office or when they talk to me when I'm out in the district, the issue that comes up the most frequently is, what are you going to do to fix our roads? Recently, they've been telling me that they've heard that on the news that there's a plan to do just this, to fix the roads without big tax increases. And they ask me if that's true. And what I tell them, I'm a firm believer that before implementing a solution to a problem, it's important to ask the question, will this fix the problem that it aims to solve? And if yes, then we can have that conversation as to whether that this is the best solution. If not, well, then it's back to the drawing board. Let's apply that framework to the bills that we are debating here today. The centerpiece of this proposal is taking income tax revenue and sales tax revenue from the general fund and spending it on fixing our roads and bridges. If our economy keeps growing, and if we don't face any serious budget challenges, then it might work. But those are two very big ifs. Many say that they would like to see government run more like a business. And I'm pretty sure that if a CEO presented a plan like this one to his board, he'd probably be laughed out of the room. The idea that we can reliably count on general fund revenue to continue to grow, and that we can count on this money to fix our roads without severely curtailing other important budget priorities is fantasy, pure and simple. No one knows whether there's going to be another recession. No one can reliably claim to know how healthy or not our economy will be in 5 years, in 3 years, or even next year. Now, I and everyone else here, I'm sure, believes that our state has its best days are still yet to come. But the levels of economic growth assumed in this plan are, to put it diplomatically, overly optimistic. In other words, the plan before us today cannot be counted on to solve the problem we need to fix. That means that it should be back to the drawing board so that we can find a solution that does not unfairly raise taxes and that does not rely upon unreasonably rosy projections for future economic growth. We can either roll up our sleeves and fix this problem, or we can punt and leave it to a future legislature, when most of us are termed out of office, and then they could clean up our mess. So when I'm asked if this plan, which claims to fix the problem without big tax increases, would work, I just repeat some of the advice that I'm sure that we've all heard from our parents growing up. If it's too good to be true, then it probably is. Instead of avoiding tough choices and passing a plan that might work for a year or two, let's take a step back. Let's commit to finding a funding package that will fix this problem for the next 50 years so that future legislators can focus on pressing policy matters instead of cleaning up after us. And that's why I urge my colleagues to vote no on this package of bills. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Cochran.